Hey guys, so here's part 2 of the 8.5 notes. We're once again going to be dealing with mid-segments and using that formula to either find the mid-segment or to find the value of x, just depending on what the problem is. Okay, so if we look here, we're going to find the value of x. So we're going to use the mid-segment formula to do so. So remember, the formula is mid-segment equals 1/2 our first base plus our second base when we add those. Okay, so remember, sometimes they could put them on the sides. So notice here that the 3x, that's going to be a base as well as our x. Okay, and so the 18, because that is in between the two bases, that's going to be our mid-segment. Now, how can we tell this was our base? Well, one thing is, remember with trapezoids, the bases are going to be parallel. And we can see that with the arrows, that they are parallel, so that has to be our base. And then the side that's in between the two bases, that's always going to be your mid-segment. Okay, so let's place some of these values here. So mid-segment is 18. We got equals, we keep the 1/2. Now, it doesn't really matter what's your base 1 and base 2 because you're adding them. So you're just going to get the same thing anyways. So we're going to add x and 3x. Now, this is kind of our order of operations. So we do have to add what's inside the parentheses first. So x plus 3x is 4x. Now I'm going to multiply the numbers. So the 1/2 and the 4, I need to multiply that. And when I do that, I get 2x. Now I just try to get x all by itself, so I divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals 9. Okay, let's see about our next example. Here we go. So you're finding n in the trapezoid. So I'm going to have you actually pause the video and actually try this one on your own. So find the mid-segment here. Okay, let's see what you got. So let's label our bases. Notice I see arrows here. So any place that has the arrows, that indicates that is our base. So 30 is a base and 12 is a base. Now we are trying to find n. This line is in between our two bases, so that is the mid-segment. So we are trying to find the mid-segment here. Okay, so we need to use that formula. So remember, mid-segment equals 1/2 our base 1 plus base 2. And remember, it doesn't really matter what your base 1 or base 2 is because we're going to add them anyways. So our mid-segment here is n, so I have n equals 1/2. And I'm going to do 30 plus 12. So once again, when we are doing this, we want to do our order of operations, or you could plug this into your calculator. If you want to change 1/2 as a decimal, that might be a smart idea. Or you have to put parentheses around the 1/2. So you would either do a parentheses 1/2 into parentheses, and then another parentheses 30 plus 12 in the into parentheses. Okay, so we get 1/2. Let's do 30 plus 12. It gives us 42. In your calculator, you can do 1/2 times 42. And when you do that, we are going to get 21. And notice here that we do have some units. That's going to be our feet, so this is going to be 21 feet. Okay, make sure you watch part 3 of the 8.5 notes.